So I welcome everyone to this Cognizant presentation. Like I just wanted to have a small interaction with all of you, just to like tell you like how to prepare for Cognizant. I believe Cognizant is planning to visit all our campuses by the end of second week or latest by early third week. That is how we are looking at. Okay, so just wanted to have this meeting as such with everyone, just to kind of tell you like how do we kind of go ahead and prepare for Cognizant. Okay. So, as far as like Cognizant is concerned, one great positive thing that we have been hearing from Cognizant is the numbers are like pretty good this year, and that's what like it's been a very positive news as far as Cognizant is concerned, and we are like we're very much optimistic about Cognizant as such. Okay, we anticipate very good numbers from Cognizant this year, and then we are like definitely looking at a very good participation and definitely a very good numbers this year also from Cognizant, because if you look at Cognizant for the last couple of years, Cognizant has not been like at least last year was okay, but even prior to that and everything, Cognizant has not hired big numbers. Okay, Cognizant numbers have always been on the lower end for the last few years, and we definitely anticipate with a lot of digital technologies, lot of revolution happening around all these digital technologies and everything, and the entire world getting into a virtual world now. What we anticipate this year is like we anticipate the numbers to be like pretty good. Okay, and that's the signal that we have been like kind of getting from Cognizant also. So now when I get started with the presentation, I just want to make it very clear with you. Please don't post any queries in your query window, because I'll not be able to answer them right away, because I would want to concentrate on the presentation first, and then I'll probably leave a Q&A session wherein you can all post your queries and everything. Okay. So for the time being, what I would request not to post any queries, because I'll not be able to look at the queries now. Okay. So great. Okay, fine. So now to get started with the pattern, okay, whatever you're seeing on the screen is the pattern for Cognizant. Okay. The first thing what you got to understand with Cognizant is like the assessment vendor is going to be AMCAT. I believe most of you are aware of what AMCAT is. AMCAT is one of the assessment partners wherein like they will come, if it was a campus or if it is a virtual ride and everything, it is through that medium that the students would be required to take up the online aptitude test and the coding test. Okay. So AMCAT has been associated with Cognizant for quite a long time. It's been like a lot of years since they have been like associated with Cognizant. And one thing like again, like I want to get into the pattern of AMCAT also. Okay, before I get into the like how AMCAT works and everything, I want to just show you the tentative pattern for Cognizant. It will be like the quantitative aptitude section will be like 16 questions for 16 minutes. The reasoning ability or the reasoning aptitude will be like 24 questions for 35 minutes, and verbal ability will be 22 questions for 18 minutes. And there is an coding section also, which is called as Automata-Fix, wherein you'll have like 7 questions for 20 minutes. Okay. So this is going to be the pattern for Cognizant this year, and this has been the pattern for Cognizant last year also. Okay, so I believe most of you are attending the training sessions would have been like kind of aware of this. So this is going to be the pattern for Cognizant. Okay, so now coming into AMCAT as such. Okay, so with respect to AMCAT, I believe like most of you would be aware of it, but still I want to make it very clear. AMCAT does something called as adaptive testing. Okay, I believe most of you are aware of what adaptive testing is, but I just wanted to give you a small insight about adaptive testing as such. What does adaptive testing mean? There are two types of testings that happen. Okay, one is a linear testing, another one is an adaptive testing. A linear testing is nothing but wherein, say for example, like I'll just pick the quantitative aptitude section as an example. Okay, you have 16 questions in quantitative aptitude. In a linear test taking strategy, okay, you would be able to navigate from one question to another question to another question, but you will still be having the option of going back and reviewing your old questions. Okay. So here, for example, say suppose you are there on the first question now. You start taking up the first question in once you answer the question, you click on the next button or submit or save and submit button, or whatever be the button is. Okay, you click on that. Now what happens is you move to the next question. Now here the adaptive thing kicks in. Okay, for example, the first question that you write, you for the first question that you attempt, you score a correct answer for it. Okay, now what happens is the difficulty level of the next question will increase. For example, The first question has a difficulty level of say like 10%. Okay. Next, what would happen is if you get the first question correct, the difficulty level of the second question now increases to 15%. Now you do the second question, you get the second question also right, the difficulty level of the third question increases to 20%. Now you get the third question also right, the difficulty level increases now to 25%. In the same concept, what will happen is even the marks also, say for example the first question carries 1 mark. Okay, you get that question right, the second question obviously it comes with a higher difficulty level, the marks will be somewhat like 1.1 or 1.2. The marks for the second question also gets increased. Now for example, you have like 4 questions, you've got it right. From 10 the difficulty level has come to what, it will be like somewhere around 25%. Now you get the fourth question wrong. Now when you get the fifth question, what will happen is the difficulty level will stay at the same 25%. It will not increase to the 30%. And the fifth question that you get will also have the same mark as the fourth question. Okay. So now what this means is once you complete attending all the 16 questions, there could be like each and every question would have had different marks. So more the difficult questions that you attend or more the questions that you get correct, obviously the difficulty level will increase, the marks for that particular question will also increase, and your entire scoring percentage will also increase. Okay, so that is what is called as an adaptive test taking strategy. Okay, whereas in a linear test taking strategy, it's going to be the same mark across all the questions. It's only when they come and tell you, like for example TCS has a linear test taking strategy. Okay, what will happen is, say suppose there are like 16 questions, you will be able to see all the 16 questions. You will be able to pick and choose which one you want to answer. You have the option of choosing which one you want to answer first, and then you can probably what you will do is like you'll answer all the difficult questions first, and then you'll come to the easy questions. Whereas in an adaptive testing, whereas in a Cognizant AMCAT adaptive testing, you don't have a choice like that. What it means is once you answer the first question, you go to the second question, so you cannot come back to the first question. Okay, I want to make it very clear. Once you finish off a question and move to the next question, you cannot come back to the previous question. And that is what is called as adaptive. Because what happens here, once you complete a question, the difficulty of the next question is already set. So if they allow you to come back, they cannot keep changing the difficulty every time. So that is where if you look at it, even when you start taking or when you start practicing test in the portal, don't have this habit of juggling between questions. I'm using this word juggling. Okay. So I think you all understand what this really means. Don't have this option of like shuffling between questions or juggling between questions, because once you start practicing like that, you would expect the same thing to happen in the Cognizant final exam also, which will not be the case. People who have already taken up AMCAT exams will be very much aware of it, wherein you cannot have the option of moving back to questions that you've already completed. That is something that I want to make it very, very, very clear with you. Once you complete a question, even you get it right, you get it wrong, or you don't even attempt it, once you go to the next question, you cannot come back to the old question. That is how Cognizant works, and that is how AMCAT will work. Okay, so please make sure that everyone is aware of it. Okay, I don't want you to get confused. I don't want you to be like, see, again in the online tests and everything that you're taking, I want to make sure that you start practicing like that. Okay, don't go back to the old questions. Once you've answered a question, just leave it there. Don't go back and change the answer and everything in your online tests and everything. Okay, so that is something that you will have to do that. Now the question comes up, okay fine, quants is okay, reasoning is okay, verbal is okay. Will that be the same in Automatafix also? No, it will not be the same in Automatafix. With Automatafix, you will have the option of moving across questions. Like again, juggling or shuffling across questions is allowed in Automatafix. So you have the luxury to swap between questions. You can go and find which is the easy ones, attend the easy ones, and then you can go back and attend the difficult questions. Okay. Again, there is a catch with Automatafix, which I'll kind of do it when we do in the further proceedings with the presentation and everything. I'll tell you what is really possible and what is not really possible. Okay. Now, so I believe now this is clear. Okay. Quants, reasoning, and verbal. I don't think it will be required for me to go ahead in depth into telling you like what are all the important topics in quants, what are all the important topics in reasoning, what are all the important topics in verbal. I think we have already shared 3 PDFs. A password protected 3 PDFs have already been shared in your Telegram groups. Okay, please get those 3 PDFs. I request everyone. I believe that is the same thing that's happening in your trainings also. We are like going through those questions only. I request everyone to go through all the content, all the questions given in that, go through all the questions, solve, work out all those questions, quants, reasoning and verbal, just work out all the questions given in that. That would be like very, very, very important as far as you cracking into Cognizant. Okay, like again, the main reason why we wanted to hold this meeting is again because everything has become virtual. Even I didn't have time to interact with you. Had it been in a real time, had it been non-pandemic and all those kind of situations, I would have definitely conducted a meeting, spoken to you face on face. But again, that is not possible now, so I want to make it very, very, very clear. Whatever I'm telling you here, please make a note of it. Have a pen paper with you. Please make a note of it. Don't think that you are hearing this, you can replay it and see and all the stuff. Please make a note of it. We have shared 3 PDFs. Those 3 PDFs would be very, very, very helpful as far as your preparation is concerned. Okay, you still have a lot of time. If you have not worked out all the questions in it, go ahead, please proceed, work out all the questions in it, and that would be your preparation as far as your quants, reasoning and verbal is concerned, apart from your test. Lot of students come back and tell me, sir, this question is wrong in the test, there is a spelling mistake in the test, there is this mistake in this test, the option is not given in the test. Any student who has solved all the questions in the 3 PDF will be able to understand that the questions given in the PDF and the questions that we are giving in the online portal is the same. Okay, if you are not able to identify it, it means that you are not prepared, you are under prepared. Okay, if you are prepared really well, you will be able to appreciate the fact that it's the same questions. Okay, it's the same questions that we are trying, because we just want to get used with all the questions and everything, and that's the reason we are doing that. I hope I'm very, very, very clear on it, and that's the reason if you look at it, some of the questions and options we have intentionally left it wrong in the portal, because we want you to come up and say like, sir, this question is wrong, what is the right option? We don't want you to come and say like that. We want to come and say, sir, this question is wrong, this is the correct question, and this has to be the right option. Okay, only when you're able to identify it, it means that you are prepared completely. If you are not able to identify that, it means you are not prepared. Okay, I hope I'm very clear on the quants, reasoning and verbal sections now. Okay, the next thing is the most important thing with respect to automata fix. Okay, yeah, before I get into automata fix, I want to speak about this sectional cutoff thing. Okay, before I get into automata fix, I want to kind of make it very clear with respect to sectional cutoff, because a lot of students have this kind of an assumption. Okay, fine, I am good in quantitative aptitude, but I'm not good in, see, reasoning. I think all of you would be like very comfortable with reasoning. I don't, and there's no point in even teaching reasoning, because I understand that everyone is getting a 60% in reasoning. Now the question becomes quants and verbal. There is one section of students who feel that quantitative aptitude is very easy for me. There is another section of students who feel that verbal is easy for me, quants is not easy for me. So the general mantra is like how you prepare for your exams. Okay, there are 5 units. What I do, I prepare half of in each unit. I'm able to crack my exams. I get a 60%. I get a pass percentage. I even, like, if my time works out and everything, I get a very good percentage, a very good CGPA. I get it. But that does not work as far as your Cognizant or any other exams wherein you have sectional cutoff works. Okay, because here you have to make sure that in quantitative aptitude you score a 60%, in reasoning aptitude you score a 60%, in verbal aptitude you score a 60%, and in automata fix you got to get at least 4 programs correct. Okay, this is the criteria that is required to crack into Cognizant. Okay, I want to make it very clear now. Say suppose in quantitative aptitude you score a 80%, in verbal ability you score a 50%, in reasoning you score another 80%. So what would be the average? 80 plus 80 is 160, plus 50 is like what, 210. 210 divided by 3, your average is 70. So now you can come and claim, I have scored 70%, sir, you told me the cutoff is 60%. Will I get qualified? No, you will not get qualified, because though you scored an 80 in quants, 80 in reasoning, since your verbal score is only 50, you will not be qualifying for the next round of interviews, because you got to have a 60% in quants, a 60% in reasoning, a 60% in verbal. Now what happens? You have an 80 in quants, you have an 80 in reasoning, you have only a 50 in verbal. You will not be selected for the next round. Cognizant will not shortlist you. The reason I'm giving this 60 as your cutoff is whenever you attempt online tests in the platform, I want you to keep this as a target. Okay, once you complete the test, check if your marks is 60 in all the 3 sections, not like 100 in 2 sections, 30 in 1 section. It's a waste. So once you start writing the test, what you should do is just see all the sections. Okay, once you complete a test, sit and analyze. Okay, fine, I've scored a 61 in quants, I've scored a 71 in reasoning, I've scored a verbal only, I have like a 40. Before you attempt the next test, go back to the materials that we have given, prepare the weak areas. For example, I'm just giving you a scenario wherein here your verbal you are weak enough. Say suppose one more student coming from a very urban background will be like, okay, verbal I get a 80, reasoning I get a 80, quants I'm just getting a 40. There is no use in continuing with the next test. Go back, study the, prepare the materials, go back, work out all the questions and everything. Come and write your test. Like just treat each and every test, the pattern test that we're giving in the portal, treat it as a final cognizant test. Okay. And the moment you get like a 60, more than 60 in quants, more than 60 in reasoning, more than 60 in verbal, you are able to solve 4 automata fix. And that is the time you can think like, okay, I am done. I am prepared for cognizant. Before getting into that level, I would request you to please don't attempt the test itself. Start preparing first. Okay. And then attempt it. Just there is no point that, see, I would definitely give you close to 35 online tests I'll give you. Okay. Already all those online tests are all enabled in the portal. Everyone should be able to access it now. 30 to 35 tests I can definitely give it to you in the online portal. There is no point in just keep on attending the online tests. Like I said, attend 3 to 5 tests. Once you attend 3 to 5 tests, understand your weak areas. Understand the weak areas. Don't go into 6th or 7th test itself. Understand the weak areas, go back, sit and work on those weak areas, and then start attempting your 6th and 7th test. Because that is what is going to help you out. Okay, if that is not something that's going to happen, there is no point in doing all these online tests. Okay, I want to make this very, very, very clear. Just because we are giving you the online test, just because your college is sitting and tracking the online test, there is no point in just writing the test without you like kind of ensuring that there should be an improvement. Simple as that. Okay, without an improvement, there is no point in attending the online test. Okay, so take 5 or 6 tests, understand your weak areas first. And again, while taking up the test, don't go back, don't juggle or shuffle between the questions. Don't do that. Once you complete a question, go to the next question. Don't have the habit of going back. Even if it is in our portal also, don't have that habit of going back, because in real world, it will not be possible. Okay. So that is the only advice that I want to give as far as quants, reasoning and verbal is concerned. Now coming to automata fix. Please listen very carefully. Automata fix, yes, you have an option of juggling between questions or shuffling or going back to the questions. You have that option. But one thing that you got to make it very, very clear is, before you start the automata fix, you would be given a choice of programming language. Only 3 programming languages are allowed: C, C++, and Java. No other programming language is allowed in automata fix. Okay, I want to make this very, very, very clear. No other programming language is allowed in automata fix. Only 3: C, C++, and Java. Okay. Okay, so only 3 you have, and you will have to ensure that you are able to crack into. You'll have to choose that one of the programming languages you'll have to choose, and you'll have to ensure that all the 3 sections. Okay, all the 3. Sorry. You'll have to ensure that it's the same programming language that you use for all the 7 questions. For example, now when I start the automata fix, I choose Java as the programming language. I will have to ensure that all the 7 questions I attend only in Java. You cannot change the programming language. You cannot do 1 in Java, 1 in C, 1 in C++. It is not possible. Okay. So once you choose a programming language, that language applies to all the questions. That is the most. That's the most important thing. Okay. Now the second thing is, I believe some of you or most of you are like well versed in Python, but the sad thing is you don't have Python as the programming language as far as AMCAT is concerned. So you will have to kind of get yourself confined to C, C++, or Java. Okay, and that's why if you look at it in our portal also, we have ensured that we are like kind of indirectly forcing you to code everything in C. because that is what is going to help you out in the final examination. Okay, I hope I made it very clear. I hope everyone is clear about it. Okay, so be sure that it's going to be C, C++, and Java alone. No Python is allowed here. Okay, that is the most important update as far as Automatafix is concerned. Now, getting into what this Automatafix is, how do you crack it? I believe every one of you would have been aware of what Automatafix is, how to crack it. By now, you would have mastered it. But again, there is a catch in Automatafix also. Okay, in the Cognizant exam, what happens is, I believe most of you are aware of what an Automatafix is by now. There are different kinds of questions in Automatafix. Okay, one is you have a question wherein there will be an error in the question. You will have to identify the error, correct that error, compile the program, ensure all the test cases are passing, and then you'll have to submit that program. Okay, that is one type of question that is asked in Automatafix. There is another type of question wherein the question is given, the entire code is given, one line in a particular, for example, like there will be a missing line in that particular code. Okay, you will have to write that missing line and then compile the code, execute all the test cases, and you have to proceed. This is the second type of question. There is a third type of question wherein the problem statement, everything will be given, the skeleton code will be given, the function name will be given, but the code within that function will not be given. It will be like 3 or 4 lines of code. You have to write it inside that function. This is another type of question. Okay, one thing that you'll have to understand very clearly is, in these 3 type of questions, the question wherein you debug the error or you write that missing line of code carries lesser marks compared to a question wherein you'll have to write the definition of the entire function. I told you, right? What 2 questions you'll have wherein the function name alone will be given. You'll have to write in the code, like 4 or 5 lines of code you'll have to write. That kind of question carries a higher mark or higher weightage. Okay, I hope that is clear with everyone. Those kind of questions wherein you'll have to write 2 to 3 or even up to 5 lines of code carries a higher weightage. Now, how do I crack into Automatafix? That will be the next billion-dollar question. Okay, though our human strategy is like, okay, you go in, you know what are all the easy questions, just fill all those easy questions, that is fine. But I would suggest, okay, fine, go ahead and do that. Okay, just finish off all the easy questions first. But I would want you to devote some time. Okay, here again, I'm just telling you very, very, very clearly. First, finish all the easy questions. Okay, and by now there are so many practices that we have enabled and everything. Once you start practicing in it, I definitely am pretty much sure by the time of Cognizant, you should be able to finish off the 5 questions. Okay, in the 7 questions, if my understanding is correct, there will be 2 questions wherein you will have to write the functions. You'll have to write 4 to 5 lines of code. So my suggestion is, finish off the easy questions first. Okay, keep a time limit. Okay, say they're giving you 20 minutes. 15 minutes, take 15 minutes to complete the easy questions, like filling in that 1 line of code, finding an error and everything. At least devote 5 minutes for a question wherein you will have to write the missing lines of code. Okay, that missing lines of code, please ensure that you devote like at least 5 minutes for that. The reason is very simple. Why do you have to devote that time? It's very, very, very simple, because you will have, because what I want you to do is, in those questions, even though even you're not able to kind of get all the test cases passed and everything, at least attend 1 question in it, at least get that public test case and private we have, right? The hidden test cases is okay, fine. Even if you're not getting it right is okay. But the open test case, whatever is available, right? At least get that program compiled and at least get that test case passed to be on the safer side. Okay, I'm talking about a scenario wherein if you're a very good programmer, very studious student and everything, like I said, 15 minutes devote for those 5 questions wherein it's all like simple questions, simple error fixing, missing in lines and everything, do it. Last 5 minutes, go ahead and attend at least 1 question. If you're able to attend both the questions wherein you got to write this 5 to 10 lines of code, I'm very, very happy for you. Go ahead and do that. If you're not having time, just do it for the 5 minutes. Say, suppose I'm an average and a below average student. Obviously, mechanical, civil, and other students would be really worried about this. For you, what I would suggest is, ensure you don't attempt those questions wherein you'll have to write. Unless, see, if you know it, go ahead and do it. I'm not talking about If you know it, I'm not asking you to go ahead and ignore it. Okay. But if at all you find it very difficult and everything, I would ask you to pick and choose questions wherein you'll have to fill in the error, you'll have to rectify the error, fill in the blank with the missing line of code. Those kind of easy questions, just try to do it. Okay. And again, to be on the safer side, at least 4 programs you got to get it right. Okay. Or it's like this: 3 easy questions and 1 difficult question would also be easy. If it is all easy questions, at least 4 questions you'll have to get it right. Okay. Last year and all, yes, definitely mechanical and all the core branches had a lower cutoff, wherein 60, 60, 60 in quants, reasoning, verbal, no one is going to give you a leverage. But definitely they did give a leverage in terms of the automata fix, wherein they said like that is fine. Automata fix, what you can do is like they will give you like, okay, instead of 4, 3 is okay for your core branch students, but please don't take that as an advantage. Okay, you got it right. I hope I'm very clear on it. Okay. Because last year what happened was, in one of the institutions, I don't know, someone from the HR team, that's what I was informed, came and told it is enough if you get 2 questions correct in automata fix. So every student in that every student, what they thought is like, okay, fine, 2 questions if I get it correct in automata fix, it's enough for me. Everyone thought like that. Okay, but I want to make it very, very clear: 2 is not the cutoff. Keep your cutoff as 4. Okay, someone comes and tells you, your seniors come and tell and everything, keep your target as 4. There is a reason I'm telling you that not everything can be revealed in this meeting, but I'm telling you to be on the safer side. Keep the number as 4. Okay, 4 easy questions is okay, 3 easy and 1 difficult is okay, even 2 easy, 2 difficult is okay. For all the mechanical and core branch students, at least make it like 3 or 4. Only I'm telling mechanical and core branches, in the sense mechanical, civil. Don't take ECE and EEE as core branches. You will all come under circuit branches. Computer science, IT, ECE, EEE, definitely 4 questions have to be correct. Okay, anything related with with electronics, okay, E&I, telecommunication, anything, all those branches, 4 is a must. Only for mechanical, civil, chemical, production, automobile, for those kind of branches, okay, textile technology, all those kind of branches, like I said, yes, 3 is enough. But for everyone, just to be on the preparation sake, make sure that it is always 4 automata fixed questions. And again, for all those average, above average, and very good students, like I said, please attend at least 1 question which has the function. Okay, in that function wherein I told you, right, the questions that carry the higher marks, right? Please ensure you attend at least 1 question in that. Okay, because that carries a higher weightage. See, you might even think like, why is someone stressing on that 4 number and 60 percentage? Because every year the cutoff that is given by the company changes. Okay, say for example, last year was a beautiful year. I'm just giving you an example. Last year there was nothing, no pandemic, nothing was there, numbers were great, everything was great, everything was happening perfectly, the world was going in a very beautiful stage. Okay, the cutoff for that particular year is completely different. This year you have pandemic. Like I said, though Cognizant has good enough numbers, we might not know what will happen in the next 15 to 18 days. Who knows? Touch wood, by God's grace, there should not be another virus that's coming in. Touch wood. Yesterday there was a bomb that was like sent by China into the sea or something. Some story I heard somewhere. Okay, touch wood, nothing happens, nothing changes. The world is still as peaceful as whatever, at least now, whatever peace that we see, it should be there. So anything could change. Definitely the drive will happen, but we might not know what will be the cutoff that the company is defining. I am giving you a cutoff which will be in the safe zone under all circumstances. I hope I made it very, very, very clear. Even though if it is going to be a bad year, even though numbers are going to be small and everything, whatever cutoff I'm giving you will help you clear it. Okay? Don't come and tell me tomorrow, don't act very smart and coming and telling me, sir, you gave a cutoff like this, but the company cutoff is like that and all this stuff. Because I know for sure, I've been in this industry, the company does not reveal the cutoff to anyone, including your placement team. No one is being made aware of what is the cutoff. And to be very, very, very frank, even some of the HRs are not being made aware of it. It's a completely different game. Don't even try to judge what the cutoff is. And like I said, some idiot came and told last year, and because of that, that particular institution, all the students got affected because of that, because they thought it is okay to just solve 2 questions in automata fix. If someone comes and tells you like that, please don't take it like that, because AMCAT has a different strategy for assigning marks to all the different 7 questions. You will not know which question will carry higher mark, which question will carry lower mark. You just think it is just 2 questions. You finish off all the 2 questions, come and say like, yeah, I've completed all the 2 questions, I will be clearing automata fix. You will not clear, because I also don't want to come and kind of explain in detail to you how each and every question mapping is done, because even if I do that, I am pretty much sure at least 90% of you will not be able to understand how that works. So I'm not taking that risk, I'm not doing it here. But again, I want to make it very, very, very clear. 4 questions out of 7. You might think I am an idiot here who's repeating the same thing, but there is the reason for it, because I know what's happened in the past. Again, I want to make it very, very clear. Anyone who comes and asks you like how many questions to solve, it is 4 out of 7. Because once you hit that magic figure of 4, you don't stand a chance of losing in Cognizant. But if you don't hit that magic figure, you stand all the chance in the world to get yourself not qualified for Cognizant. These are words from a person who's experienced these drives for at least like 5-6 years. I've seen at least like 6 or 7 cycles of Cognizant tests and everything, and that's why I'm telling you very, very clear. It's 4 out of 7 questions. Okay. And again, when I open the forum for chat, I don't want anyone to ask me any kind of such questions. Okay. I want to make it very clear. It is 4 out of 7. Okay. I hope I'm very, very, very clear on that. Okay. So please make sure it is 4 out of 7. Okay. I am being like very, very, very clear in this. And again, like I said, for quants, reasoning and verbal, it is not enough if you score in one section. There is sectional cutoff applies for each and every section. A 60 in quants, a 60 in reasoning, a 60 in verbal, 4 out of 7 questions in automata fix will put you in a very, very, very comfortable zone to get yourself qualified for the next round. Generally, there is a saying that says like, no, 60 is not required in quants, reasoning and verbal, 50 is enough. Again, I'm telling you, if someone comes and tells you that, please don't trust them. Again, the scoring pattern for each and every question in quants, reasoning and verbal as far as AMCAT is concerned is different. You think like, okay, I have 16 questions, I get 8 questions correct, I stand a chance of qualifying. No, it is not like that. Not all questions carry equal marks. And you will not know which question carries lower mark, which question carries higher mark. Okay, so what will happen is, there is every chance that you might lose out. So keep it as 60 in quant, 60 in reasoning, 60 in verbal, 4 out of 7 questions in automata fix. Okay, so now let me next move on to the next important thing. Okay, the online test that we are giving here. Okay, online test, I think we have already enabled it to all the students. Login ID, password. I believe some of you are still searching for the login ID and password. Please don't text me for your login ID and password, because I'm not going to help any student who's going to come and ask me now for your login ID and password, because I've had enough with everyone. This has been a very long time since we have given this user ID and password, and since a lot of people come and show us the old website that we had, sir, my login ID is not working. Go, that's not a problem. Go keep searching till your Cognizant exam gets over. I'm not worried about you. Okay. If you want, go check with your friends, find out which is the latest ID, go find out your login ID, get yourself a login ID. If at all some of the colleges have not got the login IDs, I'm pretty much sure I'll help those colleges out, but not someone who comes and asks me like, what is my user ID? And very smartly, some of you are coming and asking me, sir, I forgot the password, I changed the passwords, it is not working. I have all the system in track to ensure that whether you have logged in at least once into the portal. Okay, so don't come up with also such kind of beautifully choreographed kind of sentences saying that, sir, I forgot the password and everything, because when today morning a couple of students came and asked me, sir, I forgot the password, I can easily find out that the students have not even logged into the portal. I'm not going to help those students in the last 15 days, because if you feel that last 15 days is enough for you to crack an exam, it's simple like that, right? Yesterday you got an announcement from the government, right? Anyone who has paid the fees, you will be clearing all the exams. 30 arrears, 40 arrears, how many ever arrears you have, you will clear all the exams. No, that is not going to happen as far as Cognizant is concerned. I'm sorry to say that. Okay, so that you will not have the chance. You go find out your login ID and password and do something, whatever is up to you. But as far as the online portal is concerned, I want to make it very, very, very clear. Students who have practiced in the online portal and the online test in these last 6 years have not repented on that decision. They have not come and said like, no, my portal has not helped them crack the examination. We have not even heard any one student who comes and tells that. So again, I want to repeat it. all the materials that we are given, go ahead and uh, start using those materials, prepare in the materials. If someone is going to come and ask me, because already while I'm talking to you, I've got Telegram text saying that, sir, please send me the 3 PDFs. I'm very sorry, I'm not going to send it, because all your Telegram groups, the old chats are all visible. Go scroll it, find it out. It is your job. There are easy ways to find out the materials. Go do that. Okay, I'm not going to help you out on that. I'm very, very, very clear on it, because we have told this n number of times to keep watching the Telegram group. And again, the most important thing is, any of you attending this presentation is not knowing where your college Telegram group is. Please check with your friends, join the Telegram group, keep watching the Telegram group at least once every hour. Okay, there will be a lot of things that we will be posting, and if you're not watching the Telegram group, I don't stand to lose, you stand to lose. I want to make it very, very, very clear. So if someone is coming and asking me, sir, please share the link of the Telegram group, I'm not going to share it. You go and find it out, because I understand almost 90 to 95% in your college have already joined the Telegram groups. That 5% who is still not interested, if you're coming in the 30-year formula case, if you feel like you can get easily into Cognizant, no, there is no shortcut for success, and we are not going to define any shortcut for success. We are very, very, very clear here. People who are putting in effort should be rewarded, and we'll ensure that you're getting rewarded for it. Okay. The most important thing is, be part of your college Telegram group. Keep checking it regularly. I understand some of the placement officers are very, very, very kind enough. Whatever I post here, they keep posting in your WhatsApp chat also. Spoon feeding can be done. That is not at all a problem, but we are not, or I am not going to do the spoon feeding stuff. If your college is ready to do it, let them do it. But like I said, I'll be posting it only in Telegram. You have to go ahead and watch it in Telegram. By the time you finish off your Cognizant exam, you will understand why I wanted you all to come into the Telegram. I cannot reveal that now, but by the time you finish off your Cognizant exam, you will understand why I said a no for WhatsApp and why I said an yes for Telegram. You will understand that. Okay, fine. So Telegram, okay, I've completed that. And yeah, the most important thing is, your Cognizant exam is going to be a web proctored exam. By now, everyone is aware of what a web proctored is. So please make sure all your laptops, your webcam is in a working condition, your microphone works. Don't come and ask whether I can take the test in mobile. Okay, I don't want such kind of questions. And also, the most important thing is, have all your PAN, Aadhaar, all your marks and everything, digitize it. Okay, take a scan it or like photocopy it. There is something called as digital locker, DigiLock. Go and type in Google, DigiLock. Government offers something called as a DigiLock, wherein everyone is given an online cloud support, wherein you can go and upload and keep all your documents. It's very safe out there. Don't come and ask me if someone hacks it tomorrow, sir. You said very safe, someone has hacked it, and don't blame me for it. As of now, it is very safe. Okay, I want to keep that also very, very, very clear. As of now, it is very safe. Okay, so keep all your documents there. You might ask me, why should I do that? Again, we are not living in a very safe place. Tomorrow, who might know, touch wood, by God's grace, it should not happen. Tomorrow, you might be required to take up your Cognizant examination in a quarantine center also. It could even happen. That time, you might not have access to any of your family members and everything. You might not be able to upload your, what do you call that, PAN card, Aadhaar card, and all those cards and everything. You might not be able to do that. So I request everyone to make sure that you have all your documents. Don't ask me, sir, whether I can use PAN card, whether I can use Aadhaar card, whatever card that you have. Seriya, Vivek சொன்ன மாதிரி தான், பால் கார்டா இருந்தாலும் சரி, digitize everything and keep it ready. Okay? Keep that in a digital locker or anywhere wherein it is accessible in a digital format. Okay? I hope I'm very, very, very clear on it. Seriya. So that is the most important thing. Yes, it will be a proctor test. Webcam is important. You will definitely have to have webcam. Okay. So I've covered about adaptive testing. I've covered about automata-fix types, programming, adaptive, Telegram group. I've told you. Online test. I've told you. Sectional cutoff. I've told you. Proctor test. I've told you. DigiLock. I've told you. I've told you about PDFs. Okay. So this marks the end of the presentation. This is what I wanted to kind of share presentation. This is what I wanted to kind of share with everyone.